So the word peace, back to peace, it is a common word in most languages, and it has that common meaning of the absence of war or conflict. But biblical peace is changing it up a little bit. I don't know if y'all had a chance to watch the BibleProject videos. They're in the chat, but essentially it's talking about the biblical concept of peace is the absence of conflict in it, plus something better that's in its place. And the Hebrew word for that is shalom. And it means completeness, wholeness, or nothing missing. And it's a really complex concept, and there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of moving parts in the relationships and the situations. For example, when you're in a relationship and or a situation that things are broken, shalom would be reconciliation, healing, restoration, bringing it back to wholeness. And so when it's broken, that restoration is needed. So shalom is needed. An Old Testament example of that is when rival kingdoms would make shalom, they would not only stop fighting, but they would also start working together for the betterment of each other, which is something that we don't see nowadays a lot. But since the fall in the garden, the universe has been groaning as it waits eagerly for shalom, because at the fall in the garden, the world broke the way that it was supposed to be broke. The universe broke. And that's mentioned in Romans 8:21 through 23. So in regards to Advent, Jesus is the bringer of shalom. John 14:27 says, and this is Jesus speaking, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid." Paul calls him our peace, and that's that biblical shalom. He's the whole, complete human that we fail to be, giving us his life as a gift, thus making peace or shalom between us as messed up humans and God. And he's coming to restore that wholeness to our broken relationship. And if we accept his gift of shalom and follow him, now we're called to create shalom in the world, in everything that we do. Ephesians 4:3 says, "Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace." And that means that true peace is a choice, and it takes a whole lot of effort. It's not easy. It's a lot of work to restore and bring something to completeness in all aspects of our lives. And we're called to do this in all aspects, where we live, work, play. And that's it's like in our relationships, our nation, our world, everything that we have anything to do with. If you think about modern society and the modern concept of peace, we often make peace, like nations make peace, but it's a very tense peace. Like, just look at Middle East. They're always talking about peace, but there's never peace. There's always conflict, even in the midst of this false peace. So, and they're not working together to help each other. They're constantly fighting. Times of quote-unquote peace. So it's a very, very different concept of peace than what we see. And even me studying this for Advent, it opened my eyes to a different kind of thing. It's like it's a lot of work to do this thing.
Yeah, we learn about political peace, where there's pride mixed in it.
Yeah.
Where one side is always gonna has to get something out of it.
Yeah, what do I get out of this thing? Yeah. And if you don't keep your end of the bargain, boom, we're not in peace anymore. It could escalate at any moment. Yeah, and if you think about it, and it's not even just politics where peace is needed, we need it in everything. not an easy thing. That's why and it's still hard to wrap your head around because we are a finite human, but that's why Jesus is the bringer of peace, is because he's the one that's bringing that completeness through his death and resurrection on the cross, and it's restoring that broken relationship.
Yeah, I guess when we get to a place where we have peace in our hearts, like a true peace, it's oftentimes one-sided, where you're just it's kind of tied in with forgiveness too, where like you have to let go, and then you can find your peace afterwards.